Hello, welcome to Sending Ravens. How's everybody doing? If you're coming over here from Tarot by Janine, welcome. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We're building numbers over here, it's awesome. Oh, there's Betty. This is the channel you can get glimpses of Betty. Let's have a look at that little girl. Hey Betty, how's it going, girl? Hey Betty, your fans want to say hi. Yeah, Betty's a cutie. Okay, so we are continuing from the reading a couple of days ago we did on there's a dog outside. I got the windows and doors open because it's so nice out. It's absolutely, Calgary goes from, winter to summer, and there's no spring. There's no spring really. It's just winter. Last week was winter, and this week is summer. Oh, Rufus. Rufus is like, who's that dog out there? Okay, sorry, I'll focus. So we want to look at further, deeper into that. We were getting some sort of scary things like this situation that created us all to be shut in here and under sort of house arrest in a way. Maybe not literally, in some places literally, but feels like house arrest. We're wondering, first of all, who is responsible. So it looked like humans had some kind of play in it. It wasn't just some bats, some bats created some virus and spread it to humans. That's not what it looked like. In any of the readings I've done on the subject, it does not look like it could be derived from and originated with like sort of a SARS-like situation. But it doesn't look like it's entirely natural. Something was manipulated. Okay, so what we were getting in that last layout, that last reading, when I did the 7-card spread called the pyramid, we got that the past that it came from had something to do with the King of Wands, which can be a person or group of people or business even that's sort of rooted in a Caucasian culture, because the King of Wands is a Caucasian. So that's where I get that idea, or even a particular man. And if it isn't one person, it's a very famous, well-known, and powerful man. Okay, so we're going to have a look at all around and anything else we can get around who is this, can this be traced back to? If a man or a group of humans, and because it was the king, it's likely males, or some males are involved, certainly. That's where we're getting that information. Otherwise, it would have come up queen. Okay, so, but this was a king. So that's how cards work. Okay, they're trying to give us clues. So I'm not assuming, I'm just going with what the card said. So now we're looking at why, who, why, and any more information on those people. Okay, so I'm getting a big yes. This is in the past. So yes, something was created with the intent to. So this is badly aspected. And this card has negative intent if it's badly aspected. So he's a bit of a warrior. Look at him. Knight of Swords. So he's got a really intense, passionate vision, okay, that comes from, some inspired idea. But it's surrender to it, so it's not necessarily for the good of humans, certainly not, right? So, but some vision, so a vision that either a group or a particular person held this vision. I'd say it's likely a group of people. Obviously, just one person can't be behind that kind of a thing. I mean, maybe, but I'm going to say that was one person. Tracing it back to one person's unlikely. I think we're talking about a group. And the group has a shared vision, and their intention looks like it was, I'm going to say negative. So against humanity, against our better sort of health, I guess, in this case. Yeah, so they weren't trying to help humanity with this situation that was created. So it was absolutely created by some people, a group of people, maybe inspired by one small group in particular, for reasons that are, I'm going to say, nefarious. I think that's the right word here. And or suspect, and certainly maybe criminal even. We've got that surrender, putting the world at risk. And it absolutely did, and humans. And lots of people passed away, in particular, directly from this, right? And I know they pass away from natural situations always, and similar situations, but this was created and manipulated, right? So it was inspired by this group of people and then instructed to be created. I mean, that's how I'd read that. Now, it seems like they had to surrender to something happening that put them in a vulnerable situation. And what I got before around that, if you look back at my very first reading on this subject here, on this channel, the scary flu situation, the very first reading, go back to that, have a look at that. I did get that it was an accident, even though it was being created, manipulated by man, humans. Okay, so it could be created and manipulated. Okay, but it got sort of out of hand. So something happened that it got sort of set out into the world quicker than, was anticipated or planned. Okay, and that's why that card might come, because surrender means they had to go with something that wasn't planned. Surrender. They had to surrender to a situation that left them vulnerable, so they didn't cover their tracks well enough. So that tells me we'll likely figure out, because a lot of people are looking into this, not just me, right? A lot of people with really scientific backgrounds and medical backgrounds are looking into this. So there's a lot of information out there. Go do your homework. I'm just doing the card reading aspect of it, right? I'm just looking into it from the spiritual perspective and the intuitive perspective. But it left them vulnerable, so they didn't plan it to get out as fast as it did. I think they were creating it for a future purpose that wasn't for the good of humans. So we're thinking germ warfare type thing. It got set upon, unexpected. That's why the surrender, they had to surrender to, left them vulnerable, right? Because there's a lot of loose ends kicking around that people are starting to discover. People being, trying to leave countries with vials and all kinds of things in their luggage. Yeah, look into it, okay? Because there's all kinds of things out there that are being discovered around certain scientists and peoples connected to labs. All kinds of interesting things out there. In particular, some Canadians actually, so look into that. Anyway, I have to talk around all of this because I can't be too specific. So sorry if I seem like I'm talking like a crazy person. You got to do your homework to find out exactly what I'm talking about. But see this Two of Swords? So the Two of Swords. So they're going to be undetected, the actual origins and the actual people. It's going to take us a couple of possibly years to know exactly who's at the bottom of this. We're going to figure it out though. That Two of Swords says we'll be in the dark for a while, possibly two. Let's hope that's months. It's possibly years. Okay, because it's surrounded by that, with that major arcana backing it up here, that could be years. And the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Cups. And it looks like whoever originally planned this thing, okay, the original use or what they thought they would use it for, they're going to abandon. So they're just going to abandon it and leave it as, and hope people buy that it's just this natural thing that, some bat released upon humans. Yeah. So that's what they're hoping. They're hoping, and they're going to abandon the thing. So I don't think they're going to take it up because it's too vulnerable. I don't think they're going to work on it. And I feel like it was left in a vulnerable position. In other words, it wasn't as polished as they wanted it. Didn't do as much damage as they anticipated and were creating it to do. Wow. Well, that's an eyeful. Okay, that's the feeling I'm getting. Now, there's a lot of inner fighting also going on. A lot of inner fighting with the group of people that are, sort of had the original idea of this. Let's see what else we get. Yeah, it's definitely a group. And there are men and women. So we get both men and women. I'm thinking that the original group is if you go all the way back, there's 3 main people, and that could even be 3 groups coming together that were agreed to use this, and or this was going to be used in 3 different groups, or 3 different in particular reasons that they wanted to let this this illness be released. Wow. Okay, I'll just keep talking till I figure out what I'm talking about. Okay, see that 3 of Pentacles? So something's been worked on. Oh, I see. Okay, they've been working on this for 3 years. Okay, and it was being worked on overseas from where it was released. So the original origin point, which is Wuhan, China, did I say that right? Is not where like the people originate from. Maybe they were working in team with people from there, but they're from somewhere overseas from that place. You have to cross an ocean to where they are. They are from, and there's 3 different groups come together that were in on the original plan for this plague-like situation here. Yeah, so there's lots of, this is way deeper than just a couple of people doing bad. This was a group, or 3 different groups coming together, and they are not necessarily originating in China, although they might have been involved with the Chinese as well, the Chinese government. I don't think they literally were, that's where it originated. Okay, so we've got the Chariot and the King of Cups. Yeah, the original idea behind it has something to do with really big business and really big, a business that feels like it's related to that. To me, that feels like, because that could be like this guy abuses substances. So I'm gonna say pharmacy, big pharma. So yeah, I guess follow the money, right? Who's gonna make money off this thing getting released? Then of course they're gonna come up with a vaccine, and you know, some big companies are going to be given a lot of money to develop that if they haven't already, or are going to sell their findings for a lot of money and continue to make money for a really long time, in particular in developing countries. Oh boy. So that sounds a lot like, you know, some of the stories they talk about with the past things like AIDS and such, and how it might have been developed in a lab originally, set upon, in particular, developing countries. Oh my goodness. Yeah. 4 and 6. Yeah, so this dark force was created and for money to originally, or well, I don't think it was to start a war, but I mean, it feels like it's starting a war in a way, but I don't think that was the original purpose. So I don't think it was going to be literally used as germ warfare, but in more of a subtle way it was. It, like against humans, not just one particular country, but the world, and in particular developing countries. This was to make money from something, you know, so they create the problem. They already have the solution to the problem somewhat created. They finish that off, then they make money selling us the solution to the problem. I know that's a whole sort of political agenda there. Wow. So yeah, this is very alarming, and but not surprising. Okay, so we've got, yeah, now see this card here? So we got the 10 and the 2, the 10 of Wands, the 10 of Wands. I feel like because this was unleashed prematurely, it's not going to do anywhere near the damage, as I've said. And I feel like the whole thing will be sort of aborted to some degree. Wow. So some money will be made, but not nearly to the amount they were looking for. Maybe cut in half the wealth they were hoping to get. That's what they were hoping to get, and here's what they get. Surrendering to about half. Wow, so that's still horrifying. Wow. Whew. All right, so that's a little deeper look. We're at a 15-minute mark, so I'm gonna leave it there, and we're just gonna keep digging away at this. I hope that was somewhat enlightening, and sending everybody ravens.